Donald Trump Jr., Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization. Don, thanks so much for being with us.
It's my pleasure, guys. Good to be with you.
Well, you know, first thing I have to ask, we've got a few Trump family members that could be making runs as we look towards 2022, 2024, including possibly your father. He's indicated that that is a possibility. Now, curious, what would be the Trump America First solution to this situation that we're in?
I think you go back to the policies that were working, right? You had 4 Middle East peace deals, and look at what's going on in Israel right now. You had American energy independence, and now we have gas lines and gas shortages all over the country. You have the Russians hacking pipelines, supposedly. You have a crisis at the border that wasn't a crisis. It's pretty laughable. I mean, Joe Biden, they're giving him all this credit because he inherited Trump's vaccine and Trump's vaccine plan. The reality is he hasn't done anything. So I'd go to those policies. He's created a disaster, frankly. And, you know, the media is happy to turn a blind eye to what's actually going on. Remember what happened when Donald Trump said, we're going to move the embassy to its rightful place in Jerusalem. People went crazy. It was going to be the start of World War III. Billions of people were going to die. Shockingly, nothing happened. Now there's violence in the Middle East all over the place. And, you know, nothing to see here, folks. We're totally oblivious to what's going on. It's pretty pathetic.
You know, Don, let me ask you, nobody would love for America to retreat back to the 1970s, which we've been talking about is unfortunately happening. Nobody would love that more than China, than the regime in Beijing, particularly economically so. And it's impossible for us, though, to get our full economic vitality back, the kind we had before the CCP virus, unless the blue states and blue cities end these draconian lockdown restrictions that are very much at the impetus of Dr. Fauci. Now, I want to ask you specifically about a tweet you put out about Dr. Fauci. You said China could not have picked a better person to advise us. What did you mean by that, Don?
Well, 100%. I mean, I think if you look at the facts, if you look at the things that he called, if you look at the models that he made, I don't believe any of them are actually ever turned out to be correct. We seem to be basing decisions on, you know, his pseudoscience, and China's thrilled. I put out another tweet the other day, which was, you know, Joe Biden is essentially Jimmy Carter 2.0. And people were like, oh, my God, they lost their minds. You know, Jimmy Carter was a nice humanitarian guy. I go, that may be great, but like the presidency was a disaster, whether it be, again, you know, everything, right? We're seeing the gas prices. We're seeing the Israel going on. You had an equivalent crisis then. Our enemies are laughing at us because, you know, our FBI, our CIA, our president, they're more concerned about checking off a bunch of woke talking points than they are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing for the American people. You saw those recruitment videos from the CIA. It's like, guess what, guys? I don't want my CIA agents and my workers there to have anxiety disorders, okay? I don't know. I don't have a problem with people that have anxiety disorders. It's a terrible thing. I'm not sure I want those people on the front line of defense against China, against Russia. Probably doesn't end well. Now, I know you're not allowed to say that in 2021, but I've sort of made a brand about not caring.
Speaking of that, Don, you make a great point. You know, you're very active out there on Twitter. You're posting videos to Rumble on a regular basis, really reacting to what's happening in the first 100+ days of this administration. Your thoughts on big tech bias and what that means, not only as we look towards our upcoming elections, but also for our viewers out there?
Well, it's rampant, and that's why I'm trying to get on other platforms and spending a lot of time on platforms like Rumble, where they're at least, you know, sort of free speech. They're not. You know, I see what happens to my analytics and some of the other things. Like, you know, one platform I had last month, I had it was close to 28 million or maybe 28.4 million impressions in a week, in a 1 week period. And I got 304 new followers. I had an average post count that had an average like of about 250,000 likes per post. And I only got 304 new followers. I mean, I have a feeling something's off. I was pretty good at statistics over at Wharton. You know, this was sort of, that's what we call a statistical anomaly. But when it's an anomaly every week and it seems to only affect certain people, those who are loud and conservative, you got to wonder. And so, you know, platforms like Rumble, you know, don't seem to have that bias. Again, they're more than happy to host people with alternate views of mine. But, you know, I don't see sort of an impediment being a conservative to get on that platform. So I encourage people to check it out, check out my videos there. I sort of put up the content that I know will be fact-checked elsewhere. on that platform. Not that it's fact-checked because there's actually anything wrong factually, but because if you look at something, they can say, well, that's opinion, therefore we can say we disagree. I mean, they literally have fact-checked me saying, this is my opinion. They're saying, no, that's incorrect. I was like, you're telling me my opinion is not my opinion? I don't understand. But Don, you see that bias. And again, it only goes one way.
Right, Don, to that point, and you're right, when the anomalies all line up in one direction, they're no longer coincidence. There's something going on there. But I want to ask you about that regarding social media and tech tyranny. Two-part question, really. Was it a mistake when the Republicans had full control of the Congress and the White House that they were not more aggressive in taking on big tech? And is that an important platform for retaking the House and Senate in 2022?
I think without question. I mean, I've been screaming this stuff for 5-6 years. I mean, I think what I've been very vocal about is that the average Republican doesn't even realize that this is a major issue with their base. They're maybe coming to realize it now, but 4 years ago, I was like, hey guys, like, guess what? Like, this is a top 2 or 3 issue with conservative voters because they see it. If you're a religious person, if you're pro-life, if you're pro-Second Amendment, God help you, right? It's over. You just get crushed. You can just watch your analytics go down the toilet in about 2 minutes. So the conservative base, this is a major issue with it.
I wish we had more time, but unfortunately we have to go. We appreciate you being with us tonight.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.